What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts.
Oh yeah, let's get it on. Let us have fun, even if it's the last thing we do. Even if it's the last thing we do. May this be the podcast that ends them all. This is it, folks. We shall dine with the best and the least. How is everyone doing? How are you doing? I hope you guys are doing freaking swell. Drop a like on the video if you're watching. Drop a thank you. What? Drop a smash that like button. Like Elon Musk is smashing Apple currently. Hope everyone is doing great on this Monday. Howdy Wilson, howdy Willie, howdy Papa. Get in the chat, let me know how you're doing. How is everyone's Thanksgiving? Hopefully the Thanksgiving was spectacular in a great way. Hope it was the best Thanksgiving you've ever had. Hope you apologized for your colonialism and all the horrible things you did all year long. For it is the time. Smash the like button like a Looney Tunes anvil and Willie Coyote. Yes. This is. We got China news. We got a little bit more Fauci. We got some crazy stuff going down the pipe. We found out about Daily Wire selling stuff. Important list. So much is going on in the news. Oh my God.
Welcome to the revolution.
What's up there? I didn't apologize for my colonialism, but I did make my grandpa apologize for being white. Does that count? Yes. God, thank you. Thank you. How did your grandpa take to you making him apologize for being white? I think that's a really healthy thing for him to do. It's just, I hope everyone found out if, your family was part of colonizing America or not over Thanksgiving break, that you didn't just go there and stuff your face in, but you also had your fair share of white guilt, because it's important to have that in today's culture. Or else you're not part of the regime. If you just say, I have no idea why I'm supposed to feel bad. I didn't do anything. I was born. I'm technically a Native American. Don't say that. That's hate speech. Daily Wire people talking bad about Trump. They're over Trump. They're on the DeSantis train. At the Daily Wire, everyone has the same take there. But I saw this. Elon Musk showing us in the world what he keeps at his bedside table. Look at this. What an absolute piece. Elon Musk at my bedside table. I don't know what's worse. This incredibly historic gun, or the fact that he's drinking Diet Coke caffeine free. Ugh. I feel like my grandpa's the only one that drinks Diet Coke caffeine free. Hey, what's up, JT? Random survey question. You ever given somebody a wedgie before or gotten one? Yes. To both. Yes to both. It's a rite of passage when you're in middle school. I truly believe that. You can't not go through middle school without getting a wedgie. Great question, though. Papa, help me figure out, what gun is that? What is that even? That's not even a gun. There's no trigger. It's just for funsies. I like that he posted this and probably triggered so many people, though. That's what the funniest part. There's no excuse for my lack of coasters. Thank you for saying that. I've never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke. I keep the Blade Runner gun by my bedside table if I had a bedside or a table. You just got to keep a 9. That's all you got to keep. It's for a school project and sibling rivalry. A lot of people said they've done that before, little brothers and cousins and nephews. Nah, I did it, friends. we did it to each other. I think we were playing football or something like that in middle school, though. It's a replica gun from a video game. See, that's why I didn't get it. I was like, that doesn't look like a real gun. Now I get it. See, I'm only nerdy about so many things. And I don't catch everything, so I appreciate all you guys in the chat letting me know. But I just saw that, I was like, of course. This is waiting for people to start screaming. No! Elon Musk is putting guns on Twitter. See, Twitter is a haven for white supremacy due to Elon Musk's guns. I don't know what video game to be honest. Okay, good. Wilson, what video game is this gun from? I don't know. I mean, there's no trigger. The best video game gun is the OG Samurai Edge from Resident Evil 3. Yes. Me neither. I found from Twitter. Okay. 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 At least I wasn't alone. And then this guy. What? Okay. I just saw that being passed around. I thought that was freaking hilarious. The fact that he posted that is epic. Okay, and here's this weird turn of events with the Daily Wire and Kanye West, who's apparently on Temple right now, so I get if you want to leave me, go watch him. But like Kanye West, Nick Fuentes, and Trump had a meeting with Milo. And they broke out Trump eyes together, but like they all had a meeting together and they all started talking about everything going on. And then Jeremy Boring had this tweet in response to Kanye West's tweet, which I can't figure out what the tweet was about. Now I'm confused because he deleted it. But Jeremy Boring's tweet is still on, talking about, and this is a direct quote from Jeremy Boring. We've accepted far more than that from your opponents. DeSantis has rented our lists. Trump has rented our lists. Virtually every major public figure has rented our list at some point. So, in response to a weird tweet from Kanye West, Jeremy Boring goes on the offensive to say, hey, we sell information to all kinds of people. We let everyone, people always rent our list, especially during election season. Because what a better group of a list of people to send information to than this. And I immediately saw this and I was like, wait a minute. You're just openly admitting that you're selling Daily Wire subscriber data? And you think that's okay? Because it's towards Republicans? No. God. Here we go. Did you just casually admit to selling our user data? Was Ye's tweet archived? I think so. I just can't. It's been deleted. I didn't look it up. Let's see if we can look it up. It was something about that they need him. Isn't it archive.com? I forget. I always forget this archive thing. What is the archive? Brendan, what's up, man? Facebook has been selling user data for decades. This is nothing new. Yeah, I know that's Facebook, but I would just kind of think that a conservative organization wouldn't also do that, or at least they would let you know, hey, we're selling your data. And you should just be over it. And no big deal there. And nothing to look. Nothing to see here. I just think it's weird. But apparently my chat doesn't care about your data being sold. It's just so ridiculous. All right, let's get into China. China was nuts. Dude, China is crazy. I find it more insane than how many people are willing to not like speak up regarding China, like our own White House administration, which we'll get into a little bit later. And the fact that they just like, hey, we're not going to actually call out this authoritarian regime. And it all kind of started, I guess, was kicked off before I get into some of these videos. Their zero COVID policy. China's zero COVID policy is single-handedly starting to destroy their economy, destroying their citizens' lives, obviously. And then there's countless video of them going around like welding doors shut in apartment buildings for COVID buildings and stuff like that. And apparently there was an apartment building that was welded shut that caught on fire and people died and burned alive over a zero COVID policy, which is just insane. And now protests are sparking up everywhere, and you would think more people would be all about that. But let's watch some of these videos first before we get into some of the insanity from our White House.
Dozens of protesters gathered in Hong Kong on Monday to show solidarity with rare displays of defiance in
Papa says, I live in a town 30 minutes from a city that is currently rioting. That is nuts, man.
mainland China over the weekend. In a city that is no stranger to anti-government protests, people brought flowers and candles.
主要是我个人不太认同。
I'm here because I don't quite agree with mainland China's policies on COVID, says this resident. Small-scale vigils and protests.
I don't quite agree. It's ballsy for going on video for saying that, but you might as well just give it to him.
Popped up in a number of cities around the world, following extraordinary scenes of.
Zhengzhou was a pretty cool city too. Yeah, this is crazy. I fully support everything that's going on right here. I mean, any protest, riot for freedom, you got my full support. Why are they doing that? Because they're tired of the zero COVID policy in China, of that no one's allowed to have. If you were in the radius, they have COVID passports and stuff like that. These passports will just be walking around on their phones, and if the government decides, hey, you've been in contact with someone or you have COVID, you have to immediately report to a camp. And there's no testing, it's just deemed as such. That's why everyone was against COVID passports to begin with, because it's obviously with a corrupt government like that. I'm not saying ours isn't, but a corrupt government like that, just going around, just flicking things around and making people go to camps just to make sure they realize who has all the power, rather than you as the individual. It's the collective. Anti-COVID lockdowns and inhumane working conditions at the iPhone factories. That's another place. The iPhone factories are just blowing up as well. You've always seen reports of people at iPhone factories jumping off buildings to commit suicide because they were done with working and stuff like that. But they were forcing people to live, work, and eat in the same building for the zero COVID policies. COVID camps are still being built in China. Yes, they're being built everywhere. And they're being proposed too, as you've seen there are videos online of these COVID camps. They're being shown as these wonderful hotel resorts that are being built around the world for your pleasure. It's insane. They're getting ready to lock up millions of people. I think we are at a breaking point with this protests and these riots, where either the military is going to get involved and squash it real quick, or they're going to prevail and they're going to keep pushing. But a government like that is not going to allow it to happen. So it can only be a matter of time. My best friend's wife is Chinese. Her family lives in Shangzhou. Wait, is that what it is? Zhengzhou. She just got back from there a few weeks ago. Wow. Good timing.
Protest in China over the weekend. A display of unprecedented civil disobedience since leader Xi Jinping assumed power a decade ago. The catalyst for demonstrations was an apartment fire in China's Xinjiang region that killed 10 people. Many speculated that COVID curbs had hindered rescue, which city officials denied.
Of course, city officials denied. Hey! I'm sorry, we welded the door shut. No big deal. Our bad, dude. They turned people's passes red protesting at Foxconn. Exactly. Right. Just like that. Bam. You're decided. You need to report to the nearest COVID facility immediately. As it's all a power play.
Strict COVID policy has become a lightning rod for frustration, although it has kept the country's death toll much lower than many other countries. In Sydney, about 200 people gathered outside its town hall to show support for protesters.
We as Australians have to be a voice for China.
Whoa. That was a real low voice. That threw me off right there. I'm sorry. No judgment. That just threw me off.
Similar scenes unfolded in London and Tokyo over the weekend. On Monday, people gathered outside the U.S. State Department in Washington, with White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby adding this.
Our message to peaceful protesters around the world is the same and consistent. People should be allowed the right to assemble and to peacefully protest policies or laws or dictates that they take.
I love that. This has been our White House's stance right here, is being asked about what is the White House's thoughts on what's going on in China. You have the right to peacefully protest. Really? That is your thought? That's weak. You know they, of course, you know, they're happy to call out Russia and how like evil of an organization it is. We should be like doing everything we can in order to cripple them. But like a China organization, no big deal. It's not that like he has any ties with them. That's weird though. The army will be most definitely turned on its citizens. And that's what I'm like. I'm scared to start seeing those videos of when the tanks come. You know what I mean? Like Tiananmen Square all over again. Remember how many people stood when the Hong Kong protests? Yeah, Hong Kong is a perfect example of how, goes from good to worse real fast. And then it's just sad that no country has the balls to stand up. Our message to peaceful protesters is the same, just as long as you support abortion and go nuts. Exactly.
Take issue with.
And British Foreign Secretary James Cleverly issued this warning.
Protests against the Chinese government are rare. And when they do happen, I think the world should take notice, but I think the Chinese government should take notice.
Still, from his home in Portugal, Chinese artist and dissident
Hong Kong was centrally located protests. Can't imagine how much bloodshed to stop the citizens of China protesting. Yep. Well, it's in a lot of different provinces, so they're going to have, I don't know. I've seen, like, with the Foxconn thing, I saw that they were trying to offer some of these protesters, like, 4 times bonus, and then people came back to work, and then they said, oops, just kidding, we're not going to actually give you that bonus. And then that's when the protest got, like, really out of hand over there.
Ai Weiwei said he was skeptical about protests shaking the government.
So it's very easy to just arrest them and move on.
On Monday, a Chinese foreign ministry spokesperson said Beijing was not aware of any protests abroad calling for an end to its zero COVID policy.
That's incredible. Oh, that's incredible. That is like our press secretary. I'm not aware of any protests anywhere. Haven't heard too much about that. This is all new stuff for me. Everyone seems to really be enjoying the what Biden's doing in this country.
Asked about protests at home, he said the question did not, quote, reflect what actually happened, adding that China believed the fight against COVID would be successful with the leadership of the party and the cooperation of the people.
That's right. You better cooperate or else. The Chinese president essentially crowned himself dictator for life. Yeah, I know. When that happened, you knew it was only going to get worse. Once you get a taste for that kind of power, you want. It's just too much. The Chinese president crowns. He's going. He's not going to let this stand. The Tiananmen Square Part 2 electric bag. Dude, I genuinely am like not looking forward to some of these. The videos coming out, but this is like the definition of true bravery. This is bravery in a nutshell. Like, like we think we're being brave by speaking our mind. I could get canceled, lose my job, I could say something wrong, and then everyone in the world decides to say that, you know, Derek O'Shea is no longer allowed to eat and drink anymore at places. But these people can be murdered and then be put in jail and tortured for life. It's like, this is what bravery looks like. And I wish there was more politicians that were standing up and clapping this. But here's some of these videos of some of the protest scenes from the past few days. Same thing is happening in Iran right now. Are you paying attention to Iran and what's going on with their soccer team? Football team. One of their players just came out and spoke out against the Iran regime and for women's rights. And then today there was an Iranian reporter asking an American player, what is his thoughts on living on such a racist country? It's starting to heat up globally. This is an exciting time to be alive. China is just experiencing the summer of love. Not yet. I mean, so I guess the whole thing with the white pieces of paper that have nothing on it is their way of saying, we don't have to say, you already know, kind of thing. Okay, there's one video. I got a little bit more. It gets spicier and spicier. And then here's in Beijing right here. I think that's them banging on stuff, not gunshots. It's only the summer of love. The government sets out bail and funds the rioters because more chaos. Exactly, like our vice president. All right, they're kicking down stuff and destroying things. I got more videos, but we didn't have to watch that whole thing of them. And then here's another video being passed around. I mean, that's a lot of people. It could be fireworks. They're huge over there. Is that racism? And then here's Shanghai as well, or Turnicle. It's another video. Can't wait for our American journalists to stand up for these people. And there was also a BBC reporter that was reportedly carried away that I saw the video of. No one will say anything, probably, which is insane because a couple of reasons. He's white, and most importantly, it's China. Like, it's just like, who cares? He's Chinese. I mean, it's the Chinese doing this thing. It's like no big deal. Our government just nods and pretends like China is not like a big deal, or their government isn't authoritarian insanity. And then here's more of them chanting, "We want freedom." We don't want testing. We want freedom. Yeah, starting in Hong Kong, white pieces of paper, they could not be arrested for nothing said. Yeah, I think it's like, yes, that is true, but also I also believe it's like, it's kind of like a wink and a nod. It's like saying like, you know, if we put something on, we'll be arrested, but we are willing to, it's like, the unspoken truth. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to actually say what I'm thinking, or I don't have to say what I'm thinking. You already know. And the fact that I'm willing to stand up and put a white piece of paper in the air and chant for freedom, I should tell you everything. The U.S. government will never stand for the Chinese protesters, at least not till we're ready to go for war for them. Exactly. Hey, Queen Bird, what's up? How are you doing? This is also breaking that the warning from the U.S. Embassy in China signaling lockdowns are likely to intensify mid-protest. That's what we were all thinking, right? Was either the military is going to get involved, but it'll probably start first with more intense lockdowns, so they start to weed out who are the people that are willing to risk themselves for. And this is on from Fox and Friends today.
Day of nationwide protests against the country's strict zero COVID policies, with protesters risking their well-being.
What's good, Queen?
Publicly calling for Xi Jinping and the Communist Party to step down. Here with what this means for China, Hoover Institute fellow Lonnie Chin. Lonnie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
You know, this is a totalitarian regime, and it is unusual to see the people rise up in the streets. I mean, so far there have been...
I can't wait for Justin Trudeau to weigh in on this. Yeah, right. Right after his drag brunch thing he did over the weekend. Yeah, I'm sure he's queued up, ready to go on this one. Yeah, right. You remember Justin Trudeau talking to what's his face? I wanted to say Mao Zedong. President Xi. Remember him talking to President Xi, just like talking to him, and then like he squaddles away and looks like he pees his pants, walking away. Yeah, Justin Trudeau's gonna come out and spit nothing but fire, dude.
Some arrests, but every day they come back and they say, hey, this is a dumb idea.
It's highly unusual. And let's not forget, this is happening at great personal risk. The people who are involved in these protests know that they're likely bound for jail, that they are going to be facing an incredibly repressive regime. And yet they continue to protest because they realize this zero COVID policy makes no sense. There is no end game in mind. And the only person...
Queen, I was like reading your chat and I was like, what is a pump slap? And I was trying to think, like, do I not know what a pump slap is? He does need a pimp slap. Backhand, with 5 fingers straight in the face, slap.
Responsible for this is Xi Jinping, the leader of China. So these protests continue, and the world should take notice because this is a tremendous activity that's happening in China that, frankly, is happening organically, where people are speaking out because they don't like what's going on.
Sure, absolutely. And apparently they are speaking out on social media, but social media in some cases is being censored. So Mr. Xi is...
I'm seeing that a lot of censorship for Chinese censorship is like being flooded with porn right now. Whether it's the Chinese government or people trying to make a quick buck, it just shows you how insane porn is. For one, it's like, hey, stop looking at what's going on here. Look at these. Look at this. Gotcha. You're going to forget all about it. Spell check isn't my friend, me neither. Okay, but now we're getting to the part where we get to react to some of our own fantastic leaders like, Fauci, who has been a proponent and supported China's policies during COVID, praised it like a lot of other stupid publications like, oh yes, we trust their numbers. But here is Fauci being asked about it this weekend. And what is his response? See, before he was praising it. Is he still praising it? Let's get down to the bottom of it.
I want to begin by seeing what insight you have on what's going on in China. Let me just put up the headlines for the audience here. They're seeing some protest, unrest over COVID lockdowns is the headline in the New York Times. Fear of quarantine camps is shutting down Beijing. China's COVID protests grow after an apartment blaze killed 10. I mean, you're seeing...
I was able to bypass Chinese censorship fairly easy with a VPN. Make sure to use ExpressVPN.
Things that we saw in
Not
this
a sponsor.
country when people didn't like how COVID responds. What is going on in China, and why do they seem to be in a...
Wait, what did Choctaw... I missed what Choctaw just said.
COVID lockdowns is the headline in the New York Times. Fear of quarantine camps is shutting down Beijing. China's COVID protests grow after an apartment blaze killed 10. I mean, you're seeing things that we saw in this country when people didn't like how COVID responds. What is going on in China and why?
He just compared our protest to what's going on in China over COVID. Okay.
Why do they seem to be in a worse place than anyone else in the world?
Well, their approach has been very, very severe and rather draconian in the kinds of shutdowns without a seeming purpose. I mean, if you're having a situation, if you could recall, you know, almost 3 years ago when we were having our hospitals overrun, you remember the situation in New York City, you had to do something immediately to shut down that flow. So remember we were talking about flattening the curve and the social distancing and restrictions.
You remember some of my favorite moments, flattening the curve. I remember by flattening the curve.
And shutdown, which was never really complete, is done for a temporary period of time for the purpose of regrouping, getting more personal protective equipment, getting people vaccinated. It seems that in China, it was just a very, very strict...
And thank God for those 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly.
Extraordinary.
I guess now it's okay for him to say how bad the CCP is. Yeah, that's why I wanted to show this video. Because before he was praising it. Before he was saying how great of a job they're doing. And now he's like, you know what, they've gone too far. Even though he was talking about how terrible of a job Trump was doing and how great of a job China was doing. I remember those days very vividly. 532 days to flatten the curve. We're in this together, Papa. We're in this together. I'm in my $8.7 million home. You're in your tiny apartment with your mom. Okay? We're in this together. Like throwing people in van cages and wheeling them in their homes. What about killing their pets because of Rona? Dude, like, yeah. Remember when people weren't allowed to walk their dogs and they were like lowering their dogs down from window seals to let them pee and poop and then pulling them back up? Just insane. Fauci is counting the days until he's no longer a government employee so he can retreat to Epstein Island.
Lockdown where you lock people in the house, protective equipment, getting people vaccinated. It seems that in China, it was just a very, very strict, extraordinary lockdown where you lock people in the house, but without any seemingly end game to it. If the end game was to let's get everybody vaccinated, including and particularly the vulnerable, then you could see how a temporary lockdown like that, but they went into a prolonged lockdown without any seeming purpose or end game to it, which really doesn't make public health sense.
Yeah, as long as it's temporary, you can do whatever you want. As long as it's temporary, you can do whatever you want. Haven't seen any animals in China lately. No, me neither. They got hungry. And then I went around today and I saw this other stuff. I immediately saw the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire. It's amazing how quickly some right-wingers went from no more aid to Ukraine to we must liberate China. Like, who is saying this? Literally no one is saying this. I just don't understand. You would think the Libertarian Party would be like, we are in full support of what the Chinese people are saying. Are doing. We're not saying we need to intervene, but we support what's going on. No, not one more penny to Ukraine or Taiwan and no aid to Chinese protesters. We have plenty of our own problems here. We don't need to create any more. I was like, dude, that's such an L tweet. I just why while people are suffering, your moment is to go, hey, no money. God. Just be like, we're full support. Just not financially. You don't even have to say that, I guess. Okay. And then here is our own John Kirby being asked about what are we going to do about these protesters.
I'm wondering, what is the president's reaction when he hears protesters?
It's literally impossible to get everybody the V. I know nothing about diseases, but I know that. Yeah, it would be very hard. I'm just going to say it now. You prove me wrong later. What?
In China chant freedom or Xi Jinping step down.
The president's not going to speak for protesters around the world. They're speaking for themselves.
So there's no reaction?
These protesters are speaking for themselves. What we are doing is making it clear that we support the right of peaceful protest.
Oh, God. It's just, I can't, weak men breed fantastic times. Isn't that how the saying goes? Weak men create better outcomes for every single person. Really, your response is China potentially, probably sealed door shut on a building that caught a blaze that killed people because of their no COVID policy, and your chance to speak up is to say we support the freedom to protest and we allow them to say what needs to be said. That's our incredibly brave and powerful government. Sad toilet times need a nuclear. Wait, sad toilet time needs a nuclear. Oh my God, exactly. They lie to your face to make you prove it later. Exactly. Bad gas leads to sad toilet time. Good pizza leads to bad gas. Weak men make good pizza. Oh, the irony. Yes, Queen. It's unreal. Weak pizza create bad times. We refuse to vocalize our support because China will spank us. Exactly. They're just like, did you see what President Xi did to Justin Trudeau? We don't want that kind of action. I mean, Trump put tariffs on China and they unleashed a beast on us. Everyone shut up. I'm just kidding. This is a joke, China. I mean, YouTube. Same thing, right? Okay. And then, this is what I love. At least Peter Doocy calls him out and says, wait, is this what you're really trying to say? You're really just trying to say that they have the right to protest? And that's what you support? Peter Doocy coming in hot.
So, just to follow up, John, on the China issue, why is the White House's line that everybody has the right to peacefully protest and not the U.S. thinks it's bad to lock people up in their houses to stop COVID?
We've made it clear, Peter, that a lockdown is not a policy that we're going to support here. We've come a long way over these last 3 years. Hard to believe.
Yes, we're sorry. We've come a long way. We've learned a lot. Or bad. You know what I mean? Sorry. And if you're a kid and your life was ruined growing up, we'll pay for your emotional, social anxiety counseling for the rest of your life.
3 years in terms of treating COVID and preventing COVID. So we've said, a lockdown is not a policy that we support here. But obviously there are people in China that have concerns about that, and they're protesting that, and we believe they should be able to do that peacefully.
They have concerns. They're dying. It's just some concerns. Yeah. It's just some concerns. You know what I mean? It's just concerns. Make sure to voice your concerns in the public. Don't just hold them, tightly to yourself. I've tooted to bad pizza and weak men. You're right. Amen. All right. But then he's asked the same question again, and he gives the same exact response. You know what I mean? It's like it's like the press are trying to T-ball set this administration up for it to succeed, and they're like, okay, one more time. I just want to ask, is this really your response? Because it's important to know.
I was hoping,
because you should want to change what you said earlier, because what you said earlier sounds really dumb. You should change it. Oh, you're not going to? Well, let me ask you one more time, just to make sure.
What is the White House's message, the president's message to people in China who are peacefully protesting COVID lockdowns there? And then did the topic of China's zero COVID policy come up in the president's bilateral meeting with President Xi when they met in Indonesia a couple weeks ago?
They did talk about COVID and the effect that the pandemic had around the world. Clearly that came up inside the conversation. I don't know if specifically the zero COVID policy was an issue of discussion, but certainly COVID was on the agenda, as you might expect that it would be. And our message to peaceful protest.
The guy serves up some mean word salad. Better be a soup and salad.
Protesters around the world is the same and consistent. People should be allowed the right to assemble and to peacefully protest policies or laws or dictates that they take issue with.
Does the White House support their effort to sort of regain personal freedoms in light of these lockdowns?
The White House supports the right of peaceful protest.
I mean, this is freaking insane. He might be even worse than Korean, yes. I mean, imagine if this was like World War II and the Nazis were putting Jews in camps, which totally happened, and then all of a sudden, like, these Jewish people started protesting. They're like, hey, what is your thoughts on what's going on in Germany for the Holocaust? Hey, we support their right to protest. May they allow their voices to be heard. What the frick, dude? What the frick? Just like, they're abusing people. They're putting people in gas chambers. It's important to know that if they want to protest it, that is okay it's okay to protest for your country. God, we live in such insane times where everyone's just like scared to step on eggshells all the time, and we're just like, I just don't get it. Unless you support Trump, exactly. What do you think Joe's gaffe is going to be on China protesters? I don't think he's going to answer the question. I think he's going to just be like, we support the right to protest. I think that's the line being passed down from top down, is to say over and over again, we support their right to protest. At least I can laugh at her. This guy's about to put me to sleep. John Kirby is bad. Well, he's the Pentagon press secretary guy. He's the mail press for the Pentagons. At least his lies don't have a bunch of ums and sprinkled in pure catfishing. Yeah, that's true. But that's a bit it for that one, mate. What are your thoughts on? I'm serious. Like, what is y'all's thoughts in the chat? What do you think is going to be the outcome of these protests? Do you think these protests are just going to slowly go away? Do you think they're going to be squashed very quickly? Do you think these people will slowly give up, dwindle, because they'll realize they don't have as much power? Or do you think that they're on the breaking point now where they already feel dead, so who cares, and they're willing to do whatever it takes in order to have freedom, in order to be vote in leaders, freedom of speech, like these kind of things. Maybe not freedom of speech, because not even Britain has that. I love Chinese people. Wait, I love Chinese people. They call me big guy anyway. Yeah, exactly. I used to mess with a guy named Corn Pop. I think he was Chinese. They want us to shut the F up and send more money to Ukraine. They don't even want us to pay attention to China. And that should tell you everything. A lot of the response has been, what are your thoughts on China's zero COVID policy? Do you think it's a good action? Before they were saying, like, it's so great. Now it's like, oh, now that people are dying and people are protesting, you're like, oh, maybe we had the wrong idea. Depends on how much coverage of the CCP can censor. Oh, and they're censoring the crap out of that. They're censoring it so much right now. And I just always feel like we're getting like a 1% of the actual videos that have been taken place. China may lighten up slightly, but their credit system will continue to pressure people. Yeah. Because why would you get rid of that? It's just like you can vote in socialism, but you can't vote it out. Right? 'Cause the minute you have all that power, and the minute they have that much power over you, you're not going to get rid of it, whatever you do, unless it's a very bloody revolution. That's there's no other way. You are not going to be able to like vote these people out. You're not going to be able to like protest your way out. That's the devastating thing about what's going on in that area. you can't pray your way out. you gotta actually do horrible acts in order for horrible people to go away. If you ask me, the Chinese are going to use violence against them. They have no choice. Exactly. It's going to probably escalate on both sides, because if the side is serious about freedom, like the saying said, freedom isn't free. Like, and that's the harsh reality. That sucks. But then you ask yourself, it's like, is freedom worth it? Is me being free worth me dying so that another person could potentially be free? Is always the question. I wish it would just lead to some change. It seems like it would just fizzle all like old times. Yeah, I hope it leads to some change, but I doubt it. Or if it'll be a change, it'll be like for a week or a month, and they'll just go, actually, we changed our mind, and they hope that they don't come back out. Zero COVID is impossible. The tests China made aren't 100. Well, you can't stop it. You're gonna spread it around regardless. It's just like the flu, all this other stuff is going on. The CCP will never quit. It will have to be bloody for the people that want them out. Exactly. It's going to get bloody if they continue. And that's like the ultimate reality. And that's what sucks. Their system is against them 100%. They're going to lock up millions, and there will be food shortages, and I hope I'm wrong. There'll be food shortages. A lot of our drug. I just also think of like the shortages that are going to start coming through here as well, as far as like product and stuff like that is made in China, like our drugs and stuff like that. This is going to affect the whole world, and they keep. It shows you how insane power is too. It's like, this isn't going to make your country more powerful. This isn't going to make your country stronger. This is going to make your country weaker, but they don't care, because it's more important for them to be in power over actual, bringing up the average citizen to have a better standard of life, so they continue to be a better country. The U.S. government can't do anything. There should be, they should talk about other things. I mean, I don't think you should necessarily talk about other things. I think you should stand up, because like, you can't pick or choose. You're either gonna like talk about every country, but it seems like we only pick and choose. And then when it comes to China and stuff like that, or like Iran or Venezuela and all these other places, it's like, who cares? I don't really want to get into all that stuff. COVID is fear mechanism to power. Yes. They will use emergency orders or any types of fear in order to take more power and to cripple you. The WF wants to starve the plebes away, die alone. Yes. Yes. So, we're all in agreement. This is going to either dwindle or end bloodily. Bloody. Well, praise God. Jeez, that sucks. But I'm excited, hopefully there'll be some kind of revolution there. We'll see. We shall see. Okay. And then, to change subjects, we now have Biden's COVID czar talking about the shortages of things like ibuprofen, because that's what we were talking about. But he tells us there is good news. And what is that good news? I'll let him speak for himself.
Ask about this shortage of amoxicillin and even ibuprofen in some places.
Yeah.
What do they do about that?
Yeah, this is, we have some broader supply chain issues with our medications that we've had for decades. I have seen this as a practicing clinician. I often, when I walk into the hospital, find some normal medicine that I'm used to using not available. We have got to continue working on that. We've made a lot of strides in this administration, but our work here is not done. So we have got to continue making sure that these medicines are available. I will tell you, the good news is plenty of vaccines for flu and COVID, plenty of treatments for flu and COVID. Those are still out there. We have plenty of those, but we've got to work on the other things.
Amen. 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 Plenty of COVID and flu vaccines. Yes. You know, you might need that Lipitor because you're about to have a heart attack. But make sure to get your flu vaccine and your COVID. And remember, God gave you 2 arms for each vaccine. Isn't that nice? No, I don't get the facts. Exactly. This is freaking ridiculous. Whatever the CDC discourages, I'll do that. It makes sense. Exactly. I mean, what an insane statement. Translation. We're at a diesel. We pissed off China, so no medicine for anybody. Yeah, exactly. So no medicine for you. I'm dumbfounded by how many people stick up for this administration. Like, you know what? They're doing the best they can with what they have. It's these right-wing conspiracy theorists, Republicans, that are out against everything that we're trying to do good in this regime. For the American people. Sorry you don't have your blood thinners and your antibacterial medicine, but, you know, we got plenty of vaccines. God, get those things in. Please, we bought a lot. The railroad is still planning on strike also. Exactly. Yeah, thank you, Wilson. 100%. The railroad is still planning on strike, even though Joe Biden walked around and did like a little victory lap before the election, talking about how great of a job he did to get the railroad workers back on. Just like everything in politics, it's all about a Band-Aid. As long as it keeps you in power longer, you can say whatever you freaking want. But don't worry, Congress, the president and Bill Gates will have plenty of food, water, and medicine. They'll be fine. Well, thank God Bill Gates has bought up all that farmland. You know what I mean? If Bill Gates didn't buy up that farmland, we would be screwed. So make sure, before you go to bed tonight, to thank your lucky stars for people like Bill Gates in our life. Biden is currently screwing up bad with the railroad unions. Yeah, you would think the Democratic president would be okay with unions, but apparently not. $1 million a month for $1 million a month for sugar diabetes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, wait, the diabetes medicine, wait till that goes out, and Narcan goes out, all that kind of stuff, but they'll be like, hey, we still got COVID vaccines. It's just, you know, it might work. I don't know. We'll try it out. We'll just see it if it works. We'll see if it's a good fit. You know, my man's over here dying of an OD. We don't got no Narcan, but we do have COVID-19 vaccine. We don't got Pfizer. We don't got Moderna, but we do got Johnson & Johnson, because that one shot does them all. You know what I mean. Hey, que lindo. Híjala. All right, let's switch subjects. I'm done talking about COVID. I'm done talking about China. Not because I don't care, because I'm done talking about it. But I'll tell you what I'm not done talking about. Twitter. Why? Why, Derek? Why are you talking about Twitter? Why would you bring that up? You know it triggers me. I know. A reporter asked our own Jareen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a question in regards to Twitter. And you would think a reporter would be asking a question, and the question would be, should this White House support freedom of speech? Because after all, people like me, my job is predicated on the fact that we have that. We need to have freedom of speech in order for me to do my job well and to speak up against people in power. But what does this reporter ask? She asked Jean Karine Abdul-Jabbar, ensuring Twitter does not become a vector of misinformation, what are you going to do about Twitter? A reporter is asking our press secretary, what is the government going to do about Twitter? Because Twitter is becoming a vector of misinformation, white supremacy, and hate speech, and stupid memes. That's what our freaking... Okay.
The question about Twitter. You know, there's a researcher at Stanford who says that this is a critical moment, really, in terms of ensuring that Twitter does not become a vector for misinformation. I mean, are you concerned about the, you know, Elon Musk says there's more and more subscribers coming online. Are you concerned about that? And what tools do you have? Who is it at the White House that is really keeping track of this.
Are you concerned about Twitter getting more users? Are you concerned about it becoming a vector of misinformation? What are you guys going to do about it? She's not even wearing a mask. She's a conspirator. Thank you, Papa. Yeah, where's your mask? Huh? Mask up. We're on this together. Why is it middle-aged white ladies all in the censorship? I don't know. She probably was like, used to be a hippie at one point in her life and now decided to go full in. Are you concerned about more users to what? I know exactly. What is that? Are you concerned about, take a day off, Karen. Are you concerned about, I just feel like I need to hear that question again. I at least like the reporter next to her. I feel, I'm going to speak for her in that moment and just say, I feel like she looks at her like, the you say? Like, what are you saying? Wait, what is this question? This is your moment. This is your moment to ask, to try to understand what's going on in the head of Joe Biden, the head of this Biden administration. And your question is about Twitter and it becoming a vector of misinformation. And are you keeping an eye on it? And what are we going to do about it? And how do you keep me safe? How do you keep me safe from all these insane people, probably without paying $8 a month for their checkmark, going in just saying things willy-nilly? Are you concerned about Twitter becoming a profitable business? Yeah, exactly that too. Elon Musk is just coming into this Twitter sphere. He's going to run into the ground and we need Twitter. We need it. Give it back to us. It was ours first. It was our precious. It was precious. Yes, it's money out for Elon. I just feel like I want to hear this question again.
The question about Twitter. There's a researcher at Stanford who says that this is a critical.
I'm sorry. I didn't even catch that first part. The fact that she brings up a freaking expert. I freaking hate these people so much. There's this one professor that's pretty concerned about Twitter. Therefore, what I'm about to say after I say what I say holds a lot more weight. Are you catching my drift? I'm not going to name him. I'm going to call him an anonymous source, and I'll just say, experts say. Okay. So get used to it, sister. Thank you. They're trying to make vector of misinformation a slogan. We need a freaking. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. This freaking stable, this AI system better be working. I want to know what a vector of misinformation pops up for. If this isn't working, I'm going to be so mad. Come on, AI. Oh, it's generating. I just typed in vector of misinformation. Like, just close your eyes and see. Exactly. What is our AI going to make for a vector of misinformation? Watch it be a face of Elon Musk. Stop trying to make vector happen. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make vector happen, Karen. Wait, what did she say? Stop trying to make vector happen. I forget. If it generates the Twitter logo, I know. If it generates the Twitter logo, I'm just going to end the stream right here and just call it a night. This is so slow. It's like, we don't know what to do with this. We've heard this word before. A vector, and then we'll go back to the video. Or maybe we'll finish the video, and then we'll see what it comes up with. Okay, sorry. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Professor Dr. Hayward Jalblomi. Yes. Who said Twitter makes people frown. What is the White House going to do about that exactly? I have this friend, Ligma Johnson, and he's got a doctorate, and he's friends with Seymour Butts. Ever heard of him?
About Twitter. There's a researcher at Stanford who says that this is a critical moment, really, in terms of ensuring that Twitter does not become a vector for misinformation. I mean, are you concerned about Elon Musk says there's more and more subscribers.
Are you concerned?
Coming online. Are you concerned about that? And what tools do you have? Who is it at the White House that is really keeping track of this?
So look, this is something that we're certainly keeping an eye on. And
why?
Look, we have always been very clear, and that when it comes to social media platforms, it is their responsibility to make sure that when it comes to misinformation, when it comes to the hate that we're seeing, that they take action, that they continue to take action. Again, we're all keeping a close eye on this. We're all monitoring what's currently occurring, and we see it with our own eyes of what you all are reporting, and just for ourselves what's happening on Twitter. But again, social media companies have a responsibility to prevent their platforms from being used by any user to incite violence, especially violence directed at individual communities, as we have been seeing, and the president has been very clear on calling that out. He'll continue.
As we've been seeing from where? Club Q? Oh, that went away real quick, didn't it?
Continue to do that, and we're going to continue to monitor the situation.
Gary says it's just so difficult for me to believe that we have dishonest people in this society. In my Psych 101 class, we had a TA. This is from Papa by the name of Allah. Help me say this. Allah Vagina. Who said Twitter no longer makes her horny god. So how long before the federal government tries to go after Elon? It's already happening. They already had the... Okay, it's still trying to work. It's like, dude, I don't know what vector misinformation is. This is like a slow death. It's like, I don't know. Who is it they say Apple will shut down? Who is they or Apple will shut down? Elon Musk is kind of going after Apple right now. I had something. Maybe I don't have something. Whatever. Apparently on Twitter, Elon Musk said that Apple pulled all their ads on Twitter because they're a huge proponent for freedom of speech. It's almost done. I'm so excited. Legacy media, yeah. Whoa. Vector of misinformation, dude. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's creepy. Now a Nords. I mean, this one is like real weird. I kind of like that. Anyways, so our press secretary and our corporate media press are the worst. And that's the moral of the story. Hope everyone is having a great day. Okay. And new video coming out, new topic. Our press secretary is asked about guns because Joe Biden said that nobody should have an assault weapon. It's just sick. I mean, there's no reason to have one, according to Joe Biden.
A couple questions about the lame duck agenda. The president said last week that he was going to try to ban assault weapons during this session. What does that look like? Is he making calls? Is he taking meetings on this? Has he tasked the team with working on this? And does he think that 60 votes are actually possible here? That's within reach somehow.
So I'm so glad you asked the question, Mary, because this morning when I was in the Oval Office in a meeting with the president, he actually brought this up.
Wow.
Because he knows.
Like all by himself, like a big boy. He brought the topic all by himself like a little big boy. Isn't that amazing? I love that. He's growing up.
Knows how his comments were reported over the weekend. And he wanted to be very clear. And he said that, he believes that it's important to keep this issue in banning assault weapons at the front of minds of Americans. He believes that it is.
Yes. If we just say it over and 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 over. I'm not done. Over and over and over and over and over. I'm not done. Over and over and over and over and over again. Maybe you'll believe it. And maybe you won't even think, what is an assault weapon?
It is also up to him as President of the United States to make the case for.
And again, Joe Biden, I just forgot, said semi-automatic weapon. So I apologize. He didn't say assault weapons, but he's back to, I think he's pulled it back because he probably was like, you know what? Shouldn't have said the semi-automatic part. My bad. I really meant assault weapons because those are weapons of war compared to semi-automatic weapons. You know what I mean? One's a weapon of war. And one is you could just have. I don't know. Assault frying pans are next. Oh, jeez. What's next? Assault frying pans? I'm always proud of what Joe does. Yeah, me too. He's a big little boy. He didn't say assault weapons. He said semi-automatic weapons. Exactly. But this question is regarding assault weapons, of course, because I dial it back. We need common sense assault weapon screwdriver laws. Thank you for saying that. It's nice to have people in my chat that aren't completely gone mentally. It's like, get rid of screwdrivers. Get rid of hammers. Get rid of scissors. I'm left-handed. A right-handed scissor in my hand is basically an assault weapon. Everyone knows that.
Why it is critical to move forward with assault weapons ban. And so he understands what's at stake. He wants the American people to continue to understand what's at stake. We know many communities.
What's at stake? Because I think, and I'm just speaking up right here, a perfect example of why we should have no laws for guns is what's going on in China. Do you think the Chinese citizens would have a better chance if they had guns? Probably. Call me crazy. But I'm just thinking outside the box right here. And I'm doing a little bit of ASMR. Because everyone's really into that these days. And I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to keep talking like this. It's important to know that. An assault weapon is Willie says in my chat, an assault weapon is any weapon that is used to assault somebody, so practically anything. No, Willie, you know exactly what an assault weapon is. Get out of here with that crap. I wasn't talking about screwdrivers, Derek. I said we need common sense vodka and orange juice laws. Oh, my bad, dude. Make it a sunrise. I want tequila. I can't believe they still allow pencils in schools. Automatic ones, too. Thank you, Wilson. It's fine. Finally, someone stands up for what's right. I know myself I've been stabbed with a pencil. That junk hurts, and you can get lead poisoning. Gary wants hammers.
I have felt this very deeply, very personally, and he also believes, there were families this past Thanksgiving holiday who looked around their table and
oh my God,
members of their family because.
Oh my God, jeez, God, jeez. Oh my God! Again, I say this all the time. I say this almost every podcast. They will use your trauma, your pain, in order for their point to be put across, their narrative to be driven, their idea to be pushed. They don't care what it is. They will even put out, Paul Pelosi. They'll even use their own husbands in order for you and for their agenda to be pushed. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Hey, if you died by guns, well, we're going to use you. We're not going to say, sorry that happened to you, and we're worried about you. We're going to check in on you and see if everything's okay. And is there anything we could do for you? I'm really sorry during this time. I can't stand this evil person. We're going to put this evil person behind bars. Nope. We need to get rid of all the assault weapons, and then we'll get rid of semi-automatic weapons. Because we might as well just say semi-automatic weapons, because there's no such thing as assault weapon, because we haven't defined it yet. And that's fine. Paul, the woman has absolutely no rendering qualities. She can't even garner sympathy correctly. No, exactly. Can we ban assault textbooks from our public schools? Thank you. Yes, I'm dyslexic. Finally. Audio-only books forever.
Of this gun violence, this horrific gun violence that we have seen as recently as this weekend, as recently as just last week. And he believes that they deserve They deserve for him to continue to talk about this, continue to put this out there about the importance of getting this done for American communities. But again, look, we understand it's an uphill battle. We understand that this is not easy. He gets that.
Due to the NRA, not because a bunch of U.S. citizens want nothing to do with gun laws. God. Again, it's like people also died of car accidents. No one's going after the cars. No one's going after the people that make the roads. Why? Because it's the government. No one's going, like the tire manufacturer. Like a lot of people die a lot of different ways. People got stabbed. People overdosed this weekend. More people dying of overdose. And they pretend like it doesn't actually happen. It's like a fentanyl epidemic. What's that? That's the number one killer for people ages like what, 24, 25 to 36 is fentanyl overdose, is ODing. And people are just like, you know what? We got to get these guns off the streets. That's the real problem. Really? The likelihood of that happening, of you being shot in an accident, is pretty slim. No, it's not. Okay. It's never about taking your guns away. It's just about keeping you safe. God, it's so much. You know, there are 8th graders in Chicago who are armed with illegally modified Glocks. Yes. They've been posting on Instagram. I know, posting on Instagram and Snapchat. You always curb gun violence by arresting them. You mean stop and frisk? How dare you try to put that in my chat, Papa? How dare you say that? How dare you be a proponent for stop and frisk? I swear to God, I am sick of you. Common sense law should be anyone using a gun in a crime goes to jail for life. What if you're robbing a convenience store or a piece of bread because your family is starving? How dare you? Most people are dying right now from the... can we ban that? I knew that was going to be tough to read, Queen, but I held back. But yeah, they would never do that. Why? Because when the government decides that's how they want to kill you, you just need to be okay with it. It's not you, it's them. Your life is in their hands. Not the other way around. This is a democracy, not a republic. Because democracy means we're in this together. Republic seems to give you individual rights and stuff like that. And we don't like that. Ugh. We don't like individual rights. That's gross. You shouldn't have given out free... You shouldn't have given out free needles. Well, there's one thing. How dare you? How dare you? I need to get that clip. Why haven't I done that? Okay. And then here we go. Here we go today. Peter Doocy asked the question that's on all our minds right this minute. Peter Doocy asked John Kirby on why Biden would rather companies drill oil in Venezuela than the United States. And is it more important to get the narrative right and the propaganda right than it is to answer the question? Hey, artist in the unclean on Rumble, what's up? Don't attack Marcusy? What? I don't even know what you said. We must take responsibility for our evil leadership at some point. But here is Peter Doocy.
And on the sanctions relief for Venezuela, why is it that President Biden would rather let U.S. companies drill for oil in Venezuela than here in the U.S.?
That's not an accurate take on the president's view.
Kind of is, isn't it? But then this is where he clarifies it, because he goes, of course, he's about to spit out his absolute propaganda nonsense of actually, Biden is allowing these oil companies to drill wherever they want. It's them. They're doing their record profits than ever before, and the same narrative talk. It's whenever I get in a conversation about people about energy sector in America, you already know the talking points that are going to come out of someone's mouth, and you got to be ready for it. They're going to say it's corporate price gouging. That's always the answer. But here's John Kirby.
Not an accurate take on the president's view.
Earlier this month, he said no more drilling. There is no more drilling.
The president has issued 9,000 permits for drilling on U.S. federal lands, Peter. 9,000.
Yeah. Yeah, there might not be oil where we issued them, but they're more they can drill as much as they want right there. You know what I mean? You can drill my butt for all I care.
1,000 of them being unused. There are plenty of opportunities for oil and gas companies to drill here in the United States. I'll let Chevron speak for this particular issue of sanctions relief, but our expectation is it won't be a lot of oil coming out of there. It'll have to be shipped to the United States.
Which is great. It's like, let's not drill here. Let's not be energy efficient here. Let's make other people do it for us, and then we'll ship it here. And then once it gets here, we have to ship it everywhere else and stuff like that. It's like, let's try to figure out what's the most ineffective and inefficient way to get energy and to make it expensive, especially in the middle of winter. I love our politicians. Federal lands that are barren. Yeah, right, Queen. Yeah, right. They're luscious with oil, and these oil companies they don't want the money. We're letting Chevron drill for oil in Venezuela because Haiti won't let us steal their oil. Doocy, you douche. Exactly. Believe that stone oil companies, banks gonna shut them down. Yeah, no one talks about that as well. Thanks for bringing that up, Gary. As far as like banks not giving money to these companies, letting them borrow because of ESG, it's not a good look. We're about clean energy here. We want our energy to come off the backs of child labor, and we want that to be refined and created in places like China, and then we want to buy their product and then bring it over here, and America will assemble it, assembled in America, and then we won't be told what to do by OPEC, because OPEC can't control us anymore. Yes, China can control us, but it's different. We'd rather have a China than OPEC. I mean, look at what's going on in China right now. It's amazing. And those people are free. Every man dies. Not every man really creeps Joe Biden. Queen, you can China. Just get the oil from Gavin Newsom's hair. How dare you? That's a natural look. He's gorgeous. He is gorgeous. All right, I'll just finish this clip.
Does the president think there's some benefit to the climate to drill oil in Venezuela and not here?
No, it has nothing to do with a benefit to the climate, Peter. Again, there are 9,000 unused permits here in the United States on federal land.
They just won't use them. We don't get it. Yes, they can make more money. It's just like, yes, supply and demand and stuff. Like, there's a huge demand right now. But it's like, they just don't want to do it. I don't get it. And that sense.
Oil and gas companies can and should take advantage of 9,000, and we're talking about one.
We're not talking 8,000. We're talking 9,000 permits. 9,000.
There in Venezuela. Now, look, it remains to be seen how much will get drilled down there. It'll be up to Chevron to decide that, Peter.
Yeah, it's Chevron. It's not like. I mean, there's oil everywhere. You just close your eyes and oil comes out your butt. But you just have to want to drill there. The permits are there. Provide proof of the 9,000 douchebag. Stone should be legal up to 3 pounds. Yeah, unused.
But as a function of the sanction itself, that oil, whatever product is drilled, has to come to the United States.
Smartest and brightest people I know work in government. Period. They're bringing their best. And the American people are so stupid, they keep voting in this crap because they don't actually do stuff like engage in politics like we're doing right now. And that's the problem. Low information voters are the way towards socialism. Thank God. Maybe it's just like the permits are there. You know what I mean? Maybe the state needs to just get in control. Maybe the state needs to just get into control and take over. And then we'll have oil. And it's just, we won't have all these stupid, greedy corporations. We'll have our government, who is good and wholesome and pure, making pure, botanical, organic, pasture-raised, grass-fed, raised on a holistic farm, oil. And that's what I'm here for. I'm more of an anti-socialism person. Now leave me alone. Did anybody else feel their brains being damaged when he said that? I feel like my brain is damaged every day I do this show. I feel like this entire show is my brain just slowly diminishing over time. It's just going away. It's gone. BP has planted a well on Gretchen Whitmer's face. Is there oil there? Definitely blackheads. I'm convinced that our democracy has a meaning. I'm convinced our democracy has a meaning the elites only know. No, democracy is just their way of making you think of the collective rather than individual rights. You know what I mean? That they want you to stop saying republic because a republic insinuates that we're a group of people with individual rights, whereas democracy means like we're in this together. It's always like everything the Democrats do. It's like we're in this together. What group are you a part of? Are you part of, like, if you believe what we believe, you have to believe everything what we believe, and if you believe anything different, you're different than, you're casted out, you're other than, you're not holy. You're different. BP doesn't have the tools needed to drill through the industrial grade makeup cake on Gretchen Whitmer's face. I'm sorry that you get to live under her leadership, Papa. Okay. I mean, there's like so much irony going on. Oh, I still had Top Chat on. Sorry. Let me change Top Chat to Live Chat. Okay. Does anybody have an electric car in my chat, by the way? I'm curious. Does anybody have an electric... okay, wait. Close your eyes. Imagine the hottest woman you know nude. Now think of Hillary Clinton. Why would I do that to myself? Pickles. That's freaking gross, dude. Does anybody have an electric vehicle in my chat? I'm curious. I don't. I drive a pickup truck. I drive an American... it's not American, but it's a truck. You're telling me I'm considering moving to a state that's more sane. Good luck finding that state. Like Wyoming. Okay, I can feel you on that. I thought about moving to Wyoming. Who wants to start a colony in Wyoming? Anybody game? Let's just throw, we could have like a piece of land and throw a bunch of tiny houses on there, and we could live in a commune. I don't have an electric car. Me too. Chevy tough. Okay. I was just curious. I'm just like, because I just feel like at this point, part of me wishes I had an electric car, but part of me doesn't. They're fun to drive. If you've ever driven one, they're freaking nuts. I love Wyoming. I drive a Japanese car. Me too. That makes two of us. Japanese. Truck tough. Wyoming is the state we would always joke about wasn't real growing up. I feel like North Dakota is that state for me. Like the Dakotas, I've never been to the Dakotas. I'm sure they're beautiful, and I don't know anyone. I met one person from South Dakota, and she was really nice. But other than that, let's pioneer that Wyoming plot. Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready. Hell, I've always wanted to be a separatist. Now we're talking. No, when you get pulled over by the cops, you're like, I'm a citizen, sir. I don't need a license around here. All right. Morning Joe. Sorry to switch it up on you guys. But Morning Joe has come out and said the impossible. Because for so long, they've been pushing that white conspiracy thing that is a border crisis. But now, they're all about it. What?
Because illegal immigration at the southern border is it's crazy right now. If you go to the southern border, there is such a humanitarian crisis down there. The numbers are just unbelievable. And yet a Democrat wins the Senate race, a Democrat wins the governor's race.
What? What? Oh, now it's okay to say that, huh? Because before, it was just like a white supremacy conspiracy theory. And now, we're actually admitting water is wet. Thanks, Morning Joe. How much do you get paid again for this kind of stupid take? More than me? Okay, good. Oh, God. Okay, wait. The Tesla station in my town went between Prescott and Phoenix. Has 6 spots to charge 15 cars, waiting all the time. Are you serious? Not my city. I've never seen a line for charging stations. I pull up to the gas station and just laugh at the electric car owners waiting 30 minutes. Dude, that does kind of suck. It only took 5 million people flooding the border from the... It's not even people flooding the border. It's like the rape. It's the fentanyl that comes across. It's the drugs that come across. It's the murder that happens there. It's people dying in the river. And they're just like, yeah. Oh, it's the cartel that owns the entire border. And now they're like, yeah, maybe we should shut that down. I'm trying to change my mind on this whole border thing. Maybe people like Tucker Carlson had a point. Just kidding. He's a white supremacist. I would never say that. Let America die. Oh, God. All right. Let's just queue up near to God, to thee, and salute to the country. Sinks the depths of frozen. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the country sinking to the depths of whatever. Beelzebooth. All right. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. Dear God. I'll just let her speak for herself.
Let me just say this, Reverend Sharpton. It is very well documented that words nowadays can actually break your bones. Words have...
You know, I just like, sometimes I watch these people talk and I'm like, why? How do you get voted in? Who is voting for you? Who are you talking to? It's actually, one more time.
Let me just say this, Reverend Sharpton. It is very well documented that words nowadays can actually break your bones. Words have generated violence. We've seen that. Let me just say this, Reverend Sharpton.
Oh, God. I don't even feel like I need to comment on that because this is so stupid. No, it doesn't. You can say whatever you want to me. People say all kinds of crazy things to me. It doesn't actually break my bone. God. And yes, words can stir up violence, but let's not put together words and physical violence in the same statement. Haha, I cackled. Okay, good. I'm glad you're laughing. It's better to laugh at this kind of insanity because she believes it. And there are people out there that believe this stuff. And there are people out there that are like, yes, queen, say it. Finally, someone is speaking the truth. Finally, someone is speaking facts. God. Yep, so it's true. Someone called me a booger face and I woke up in the hospital with 6 broken ribs. Okay, I didn't know that, Papa. All right, I take back everything I said. I apologize. Her words just broke my funny bone. Okay, I'm admitting I am learning things. These are new things. And my chat is letting me know that, like, they actually had this happen. So I apologize. You know, I'm 53 years old and I'm still learning this stuff. I'm trying to figure out how to live life well. And I'm just learning things. Your words are like sticks and stones that break my bones. I feel like they do. Amen. What? I just can't even. So much Zima in the chat. Thank you for all the Zimas. Black bones are... Hey, Pickles, that is offensive. All right. Maybe they should drink more milk. He needs some milk. Yeah, he does. All right. All right. Well, I got to go, guys. This has been a fun show. I'm going to go work out with some friends, but I'm going to leave you on this note. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. And let that be your warrior cry for the week. Is chocolate milk racist? Yes, it is. Chocolate milk is racist. Thank you for asking me that question. It's so refreshing to hear somebody walk in to my chat and ask me like a real question. Look through the looking glass. I will. Wait, this looking glass? Don't forget, tomorrow night we are having Shane Hazel come and speak for the YouTubes. It's going to be on YouTube. I'll put it out there. I think we're going to go live around 7:10 Eastern time. Should be hopefully it'll be a good conversation. I mean, I'll bring my conversation A game. It's going to be great. USA and Iran tomorrow too. Oh, heck yeah, dude. I've totally forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. But we're going to have a live guest tomorrow for the show. So hopefully it'll be a good show. Should be a good show. I'll be excited about it. Hopefully it'll be a good conversation. Hot guy, Trump ice. Hot guy, Trump ice. Exactly. Yes. I'm going to do some research about him a little bit just to make sure I get all that stuff to know everything. If you want me to ask him any questions for the podcast, if you want me to ask him any questions, write on the comment section after this video ends or whatever. In the comment section of the video, write questions that you want me to ask him for tomorrow, if anything. As long as it's not like... Obviously, if you ask him like, what color boxers does he wear? I'm not going to ask him that question. But if it's like a legit question, I can already see my comment section. What color underwear? Boxers or briefs, bro? If you ask a real question, I will do my best to ask it. So if you have any questions for Shane Hazel, a libertarian candidate for governor out of Georgia, should be a good conversation. How the hell does that hot guy get like so damn hot? That's a good question. I'll probably ask him that. That'll probably be my first question, Papa. Thank you for asking me that question. That's stupid. Okay. But war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. George Orwell. Remember that. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. Amen. Should be a good conversation. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this show. It means so much to me that you guys do so. I love every single one of you. Have a good night. And as always, I'll catch you on the next poo-poo pee-pee.
William Core _day super chatted $2.
Hey, thanks, Willie. I appreciate that, brother. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Seriously, I like dumbfounds me every time you super chat. God, thank you so much. It means a lot to me, man. Have a good night. I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for the great show. And thanks to Am. It means a lot. You guys are the best. Wilson, I appreciate it. Papa, Wilson, Willie, Queen, Pickles, Find and Fix It. I had so many of you guys. Am, Wilson, Gary. So many of you guys. You guys are fantastic people. Don't let anybody tell you differently. You guys are amazing people, and I'll catch you tomorrorow. Look out for the post I put out there. Hopefully it'll work out. Hopefully he shows up. Okay, all right. You never know. Later, Zima gang. And that's a Derek O'Shea promise. Peace out, Evan.